block diagram reduction techniques. There are 8 to 10 rules are there to reduce a block diagram into its equivalent single block. That means if we are having only one block, we can write directly the transfer function C of S by R of S. Directly we can write. Already we know that the transfer function of open loop control system. For example, if this is a block diagram. Why? Because it is consisting of a reference input and controlled output C of S. From this we can write C of S by R of S. We can write directly G of S. In the last classes or in the last lecture, we are having a positive feedback. For positive feedback circuit, we are having directly the transfer function is G divided by 1 minus GH. There also we are reducing with a single block. And negative feedback system, the transfer function is G divided by 1 plus GH. This is the transfer function for positive feedback and this is for negative feedback. Here how we are, for example, in these cases we are having only simple blocks, that means one or two blocks, so that we can calculate, we can find the transfer function very easily. But whenever we are doing some problem, whenever we are having whenever we are having complicated circuits or complicated block diagram, then how we are going to reduce into its equivalent single block. From that we are going to get a direct transfer function, that is C of S by R of S. We are going to calculate the C of S by R of S. To find that transfer function, we are going to use some rules to get its simplified block diagram. Simplified, that means a simple single block. In that first rule is that rule 1. It is the rule 1 is that blocks in cascade connection. Combining the blocks in cascade connection. Rule 1. The rule 1 is combining the blocks in cascade connection. Combining the blocks in cascade connection. That means here I am having two blocks. For example, cascade connection is nothing but these are the block G1 and this is your G2. G1 and G2. Here the output is Y1. For example, if I am considering the input is X1. We can take anything. The thing is, we have to know that what is that transfer function. Transfer function is nothing but output, Laplace transform of output of the system to the Laplace transform of input of the system. Now, if these are the two blocks like this, G1 and G2, these we call it as a cascade connection or series connection. Then, how we are going to get into its equivalent block is, that means we can replace these two blocks, we can multiply G1 into G2, that is nothing but an Y1 output and input is your X1. So what is the transfer function? Y1 by X1 is equal to G1 G2. If the two blocks are in cascade connection. For example, you are having a 3, then we are going to G1 into G2 into G3, like that we are going to get. That is the rule 1. In rule 2, combining parallel blocks. What does that mean? Combining parallel blocks is nothing but, here to see the diagram, here we are having an X1 and we are having here, it is going with the G1, and here I am going to go with the G2. Here I am having a summing point plus, like this I am having. The output is Y1. Now what is the resultant will be, this is, see here the signal is coming like this. That means it will be going to be adding with this we call it as a summing point. This is a plus and this also a plus. G1 plus G2. That means how we are going to write down. This is your X1. These two will be going to be add G1 plus G2 and Y1. G1 plus G2. For example, here if you are having a minus, then we need to take it as a G1 minus G2. Here depending upon here what is the symbol it is there, plus or minus, that means that we need to concentrate here. Here in this case that is a positive, so I am taking X1, that means an input is X1 and output is Y1. So Y1 by X1 what we are going to get? G1 plus G2. Y1 by Y2 we are going to get G1 plus G2. This is the second rule. Right. The first rule is the two blocks in the series, then we are going to multiply. If the two blocks are in if the two blocks are in parallel, and depending upon the summing point we can add or we can subtract. That is the rule number 2. That is rule number 2. The rule number 3 is rule 3, moving summing point before the block. Moving summing point before the block. Moving summing point before the block. See here the diagram, moving summing point before the block. This is G1. Here I am having summing point here. This is plus and this also a plus. This is I am going to consider it as an X2 and the output is Y. This is the diagram I am going to consider here. This is the summing point where it is actually, it is located after the block. In this case, moving summing point before the block. This summing point I want to take or I want to move before the block. How we are going to do? Now what is the output here? Now finally Y is equal to X1 into G1. Again, how much it will be going to be add? X1 G1 plus X2. That is the output. Even though if you are doing the network reduction techniques, if you are applying the network reduction technique, the output of the particular system will not going to be vary. The output must be the same. Now how we are going to do? I am just changing the summing point before the block. See here, I am going to change summing point before the block. What we are going to get? X1. Here we are getting a G1. This is our Y. This is our X2. This is what we are doing. Summing point, I take it out to before the block. Now what is the value you are getting here in this at this particular block? At this particular summing point, the red color, what I am going to write here, see, at this particular summing point, what will be happen? The 2 will be going to be an add. What we are going to get? X1 plus X2. After that, what we are having? G1, which is equal to Y. But what is the Y value? X1 G1 plus X2 G1. Is it same? Both the output will be same, not same. So that what we need to do here, there is no G coefficient, G1 coefficient. Here we are having a G1. So now what we have to do is nothing but, even though if you are shifting the summing point before the block or after the block, there will be no change in our output. Now what we need to do here, what I am doing, I am going to multiply this x2 with 1 by G1. Now see, now what is that here up to this summing point, how much we are getting x1 plus x2 by G1. After this, what we are getting, x1 plus x2 by G1 into G1. x2 here at this up to this summing point, how much we are getting, x1 plus x2 by G1. After that, we are having a series connection. That means it will be going to be a multiply with G1. If you are doing like this, what we are getting finally, x1 G1 plus x2. There is no change here, here and here. There is no change in our output. But the change is that I am taking the summing point before the block. Here, where is the summing point? In this case, after the summing point, after the block, we are having a summing point. Here I am going to take the summing point before the block without changing the output of the particular block diagram. This is the rule 3. Now rule number 4. Rule 4 is that moving summing point after the block. We are going to move the summing point after the block. Moving summing point after the block. See here now. Before we are having here, I am having a summing point. Moving summing point after the block. That means here I am having a G1 and here I am having a Y1. And in this case I am having an x1 and in this case I am having an, see here two inputs I am going to consider, x1 and x2. After that output is y. Now what is the total output of this particular system or particular block diagram? The summing point, we know that the summing point means at this summing point how much signals we are getting? The input or we are going to get x1 and x2. Both are positive. So that we are going to add the 2, x1 plus x2 into G1. Y is equal to, we are going to get x1 plus x2 into G1. Now what is the rule 4 is that moving summing point after the block. That actually this summing point is before the block. Now I am taking away, that means after the block. How we are going to shift that thing now? Here x1 G1. Now I am taking that summing point after the block. Just you need to focus on that summing point only. Now what is that here? What we are going to get? What is this? x2. What is the summing point after the block now? What is the output we are getting in this case? x1 G1 plus x2 only we are getting. But what is our output? x1 plus x2 into G1. What is the letter missing here? G1. So that the x2 will be multiplied with what? G1. So you need to add a block like this. Here G1. Now we need to check again. x1 into G1 will be coming to this particular summing point. Again x2 into G1 also will be coming to where? This particular point. Total output is x1 G1 plus x2 G1. If I am taking out G1 common, then we are getting G1 into x1 plus x2. Both will be the same, even if you are shifting the summing point before the block or after the block. See here, so how we are going to do. This is the summing point. This is a summing point. This is a summing point before the block. Now what I am doing? This is a summing point only. Again, I am doing that after the block. but the condition is that the output will not going to be any change. That is the difference between summing point. That means I'm moving the summing point before the block or after the block. Next, rule number 5. Rule number 5. Rule 5. We cannot change not our wish. It must be follow some rules whenever we are doing that block diagram reduction techniques. Moving the is it visible or not visible? Moving the branch point. Moving the branch point, or we can call it as takeoff point also. Moving the branch point or takeoff point after the block. After the block. After the block. Now the diagram is like this. I am going to take x1 and this is our g1. I am taking an output as y1. And here I am going to take the output is y2. Now in this case, just I am going to consider where is the takeoff point. This is a takeoff point or break of branch point. Takeoff point or branch point. What is the output of y1? x1 into g1. Directly it will be going to be come x1 into g1. What is the x1 directly coming to an y2, that is nothing but same, y2 equal to x2. Now what we are going to do, I am shifting that takeoff point after the block, right? That is that after the block. That means here I am having a g1 as it is and x1, but the thing is I am shifting that takeoff point. What is the output y1? Here what is the output y2. See, this takeoff point after the block, just instead of here I am going to place the takeoff point here. Now what is the output y1? y1 is equal to x1 into g1, there is no change. Now what is the y2 value? Y2 value also, how much we are going to get here? x1 into g1. But what is the output y2 here? x2. That means what we need to add here? With multiply with 1 by x1 into g1 we are going to get. How much we need to multiply? With 1 by g1. Here I need to add a block 1 by g1. Now how much we are getting here? x1 into g1 into 1 by g1. G1 will be going to be a cancel and y2 will be equal to x1. y2 will be equal to x1. That is the changing of an takeoff point before the block. That means actually it is in the before the block. Now I am shifted to the after the block. That means here what is the input? What is the output? y1, x1, g1. Okay. Again y2 equal to x1 here, not x2. x2 is not there, only one input. y2 is equal to x1. Both the cases will be the same. Then only it will be satisfied. Next, rule number 6. Rule 6. Moving the branch point or takeoff point before the block. Before the block. Again, before the block means where we are having, in this case, see the diagram x1. I am going to consider g1. Now I am considering a takeoff point here, and the output is y1 and the output is y2. This is my takeoff point. Takeoff point. Now I want to shift the takeoff point. In this case, that is after the block. Now I want to shift the takeoff point before the block. Now before going to shift that, we need to write down what is the output. Will not going to manage change. What is the output here? We are going to get y1 is equal to x1 into g1. y2 is also will be equal to x1 into g1. The output both will be the same, x1 into g1 and x1 into g1. Now what I am going to do, the same thing I am going to shift here. This is our y2 and x1 and this is g1, this is y1. I changed that. What I done that here, what is the change here is I shifted the takeoff point, this point. In this case, this is after the block, but in this case, what will happen? Before the block. Block is nothing but this is the block. This is the block where we are shifted. That is important. Now, what is the output here? Output is x1 into y1 is equal to x1 into g1. But what about the y2? y2 only x1. But what is that here? x1 into g1. So that this y2 term will be multiplied with g. g1. That means x1 g1. That means this is the procedure how we are going to shift rear point to takeoff point. One more block we are adding, or we are going to multiply or that means multiplication with g1 or 1 by g like that. This is the rule number 6. And next rule is that rule number 7. Splitting summing point. Rule number 7. Rule number 7. Splitting summing point. Why we are going with this thing is, in some cases there are 3 to 4 signals will be going to be added together. In that particular case, we need to split. How we are going to split? Now, for example, we are having 3 inputs. I am going to consider. Three inputs I am going to consider. Here, like this, I am going to consider. There are A, B, C are my A, B, and C are my inputs. Then what is the output here? A, B, C, A and B. That means an A plus B minus C. That is the output. But I want to split this thing into 2 summing points. How we are going to do? Equivalent summing point. We can write this is B, and we can write this summing point like this. Here how much we are getting from this signal, from this part? Up to this we are going to get A plus B. Here what is another signal? We are going to get C. The final output will be the A plus B minus C. That means here only one summing point it is there. But in this case we are going to split that summing point into one summing point into 2 summing points. But the output will not going to change. That is y is equal to A plus B minus C. The output will be both the cases will be the same. But we can do that any thing. Last rule number 8. Positive feedback and negative feedback. here we need to focus. This is don't confuse when we are going to consider it as a positive feedback and negative feedback, as well as an summing point, that means a parallel blocks. Both will be the same, but the signal will be the change. Here, rule number 8, positive and negative feedbacks. I am going to consider like this. This is a positive feedback. I am having a G, and it will be going to be like this. Here we are having an H. What is the output? Y is equal to, already we derived, y is equal to, positive feedback means G divided by 1 minus GH. If it is a negative feedback, that means a negative sign, we are having a G here, the feedback is H. Then how much we are going to get y value? This is x and y is equal to G divided by 1 plus GH. If it is an unity feedback, H value will be the 1. So we are going to substitute 1, that means G divided by 1 minus G. Here also G divided by 1 plus G. But what is the difference between the two, that means summing points and the feedback? Please see here. For example, here the signal is like this. This is positive, positive. We are having a G and H here. And this is our output Y and input. This is a feedback. Why? Because see, the signal is going like this and coming like this. That is a feedback. Then what is that? The difference is how when we are going to add G and H. If it is I am having an H. Here I am having some signal like this, positive, positive, positive. In this case, what we are going to do? I am going to do that G plus H. These are in two parallel blocks. Whenever we are doing the problems, then we are going to identify the change also very clearly. The thing is, these are the 8 rules we have to remember to reduce a big block diagram into a simple block diagram. The first step is that we need to identify what are the 8 rules. Again, I will explain once again. I am just reviewing. The first rule is that two blocks are in series. That means multiplication. G1 and G2 are in series. You need to multiply just G1 and G2. The second rule is parallel. If the two blocks are in parallel, you need to multiply with G1 plus G2. And moving summing point before the block or after the block. Both before the block, and the second one is after the block. Moving summing point after the block. And fifth rule is that moving takeoff point before the block. And sixth one is moving summing point, takeoff point after the block. And seventh one is splitting of summing point. And last rule is that feedback paths. Identification of feedback paths. Whether it is a positive feedback or negative feedback. Then you need to write down, if it is a positive feedback, what is the formula? G divided by 1 minus GH. If it is a negative feedback, what is the formula? G divided by 1 plus GH. These are the basic rules, block diagram techniques. This we call it as a block diagram reduction techniques. These are the 8 techniques we are having to simplify a big block diagram into its equivalent diagram. The advantage of this block diagram is that nothing but it is very easy to construct or to find the transfer function with a simple manner. That means in a very easy manner. For example, you are having an n number of blocks. That n number of blocks we are going to convert with a single block, and then we are going to find out the transfer function C of S by R of S very easily. Right. In the next lecture, we can take one or two examples of a block diagram, and then we will find how we are going to reduce that big block diagram into a single block diagram. Right. Thank you.